All right, ladies and gentlemen, guys, we'd like to welcome you to the show. This is your host, DJ Just Jay with Just Dimes ENT. As you guys know, we advocate for children first here at the So Do You Dig. We speak against child abuse and a lot of the injustices that are happening to children. So we're going to speak about some things in very graphic detail. Our commentary is going to be also just as harsh. So if you guys are not able to handle that, and if you are sensitive to that kind of content, all I ask you guys to do is just exit the video. The X is in the top right-hand corner of the video. For everybody else that wants to hear my commentary, which is what you guys should be here for, then here we go. Are you going to do a disclaimer? I always do a disclaimer. Where am I located? The great state of Texas. That's where I'm located. So, here we go, guys. 2 Orange Park women were arrested after police say they physically abused a 13-year-old boy, like he literally just crossed over being a teenager. So this means he was probably being abused way before this point. And the cold part about it is not only is it one woman, but it's 2 women. That face. Oh my God. Let's go back. Let's not skip that. That face. What is up with that face? Why do you look like that, ma'am or sir or ma'am? Why do you look like that? Why does your face look like that? You know how your parents used to tell you to fix your face? This woman needs to fix her face. Why does she look like that? Oh my God. Wanicia Cummins and Wanda Cummins obviously are related. And they are both big women. As you guys know, we also speak against obesity because it's a thing that we struggle with in the Black community. It's not something that we need to stop praising obesity. It's a bad thing. Our sisters are starting to lose their lives to obesity because of heart disease. It is not a good thing. It is not a good thing to be praised as being big boned or anything like that, or a BBW. It's all a horrible thing because we are dying behind it. Anything that we die behind it is a bad thing, right? So let's get that out the way. So yes, I'm going to create jokes about people being big. As you guys know, I'm not the smallest thing in the world either. But what I do is I drink a hell of a lot of water. I exercise. I eat lemons. I do detox. I eat healthy food. I do a lot of things that help my health, right? Solo Princess met you in Dallas. Yes, you did. Absolutely. So let me hook you up here. So if you met me in real life, then I'm definitely going to hook you up. But we also have another show coming up here in Houston, which I will be with Tommy next weekend. I will be down there at least for 2 days. I might stay a third day. Who knows? But if you guys want to check us out live and see what we do live, then I'll be DJing doing my thing, and Tommy will be doing his thing. That is the Anti-PC Tour. You guys make sure and check that out on TommySotomayor.com. But let's keep going. Now, these 2 women were physically abusing a 13-year-old boy, which also you can also say that spiritual, emotional abuse, financial abuse, all of that stuff kind of goes hand in hand, okay? And this included them chaining him to furniture and forcing him inside of a box. And he also had numerous injuries to his body, according to Orange Park Police Department. Now, this is what I'm wondering. How the hell do you get inside of a box, and what kind of a box was it? Was it a cardboard box? Was it a wooden box? And how are you able to physically force a person inside of a box? Like, I've never heard of anything like this. This is beyond me. Now, the victim's grandmother is age 62, which is Wanda Cummings, and the aunt, age 34, Wanicia Cummings, and they were arrested on November the 29th on charges of aggravated child abuse and child neglect. Now, they were both jailed on a $500,000 bond. Records show the 2 were the boy's grandmother and aunt. The people that are supposed to be protecting this kid when the mother and father maybe are not there. Hashtag, where's the father? And in this case, hashtag, where's the... Yes, I remember Solo Princess. I do remember that. So come check us out in Houston if you get a chance. In this case, I'm wondering, where's the mother? Because neither one of these are mothers. They're mothers to somebody, I guess, and there were also multiple children in this household, which also means that they either witnessed the abuse or also were victims of the same abuse that she did on this 13-year-old boy. Right? The grandmother and aunt. So where is the mother? Anybody that has an update to this story, please feel free to let me know. Email me. I would definitely love to know and figure this thing out. All right, let's keep going. Now, police say the boy was put into a box barely big enough for him to fit in for days at a time without food and was forced to urinate on himself because he wasn't allowed out. I'm going to tell you guys, for a boy aged 13 years old, the only reason he was probably quote unquote forced into this is because he was mentally beat down. Most of us understand what this is like, especially if we were in a household where our parents were abusive to us verbally, abusive to us physically. If you guys were hit, if you guys were punched, if you guys were beat, if you guys were forced to do any type of crazy thing, I want you guys to understand that this could also be considered a form of abuse. If some of you people maybe can relate to a story where you guys had to run away from your house because of all the bull crap that was going on. Right? This is not a foreign story to a lot of us. A lot of us have either heard this story or participated in something like this. Some of us have been victims of this type of abuse. And we're not going to sit there and stand for this. So for these type of people, this face just, like, she just looked like somebody just took, like something and just wiped it across, like somebody just took dog crap and just wiped it across her face. Let's go back. Like, I really hate her face. I'm sorry, but I do. Like, look at that. That's just ridiculous. She might look like that 24 hours a day. I don't know, man. Just 200 people in the building. Hit that thumbs up, please. Hit the thumbs up. Now, on November the 19th, Orange Park police responded to a house on the 1900 block of Miller Street to secure on the scene for a search warrant pertaining to an unrelated case, which we'll talk about that here in a minute. Put a pin in there. If you guys got your pen, put a pin. We'll come back to that part. While at the scene, police saw two mixed pit bulls in the front yard of the residence. One pit bull was chained to a fence on 4 feet of chain, which is not much at all, with the nearest shelter being 6 feet away. And I think, from my understanding, I think the chain was wrapped around this dog's neck. Yeah. So not only were they abusing children, but they were also abusing dogs. Hashtag, where's PETA on this, right? Now, again, it was 4 feet of chain attached to this dog's neck, and he was 6 feet away from a shelter, while temperatures were at 36 degrees Fahrenheit, according to the warrant. The chain was wrapped around the dog's neck and caused chafing of the dog's fur in its neck area, meaning it was just ripping hair and flesh off of the dog's neck that it was wrapped so damn tight around his neck. Now also, there was no food or water was found near the dog, and the pit bull was extremely skinny, showing its ribs through the skin, according to the warrant. Police say this dog was severely malnourished and extremely skittish, meaning he was probably also beat. Apparently, that's how they were treating this 13-year-old boy, very similar to the same way that they treated this dog. Because as you guys heard, that this boy was not allowed to eat, and he was forced into just the most ridiculous conditions, had to pee on himself, and he was also what they call emaciated, because you could tell that he has not eaten. All while, this is what I'm going to point out to you guys that I think is weird. The fact that you have these two obese women by the name of Wanda Cummings and Juanicia Cummings, clearly you can tell that these broads are not missing any meals. Is that going to get me flaggied for saying that? I don't care. I'm going to say it again. It's funny how you have these two black women that are big as hell that looks like they have not missed a meal in generations. They have not missed a meal in generations. But you got dogs out there starving on a chain with no food, no water, no shelter, and you're also abusing a 13-year-old boy and possibly abusing more children inside of this house. Let's keep going with this story. Now, the other dog was in a similar situation and had access only to discolored and dirty water, states the warrant. Police notified Clay County Animal Services, which responded to the scene. Animal control took the dogs to Prime Vet Animal Hospital, where the staff found one of the dogs also had heartworm disease, ticks, fleas, whipworms, hookworms, dermatitis, and weighed less than 15 pounds. Hashtag, where is Vic Damone? Why am I saying Vic Damone's name? Because Vic has dogs, right? And I want you guys to tell me, or ask Vic, how normal is it for a pit bull dog to only weigh 15 pounds? Because I know he knows. He breeds dogs, and maybe he'll be able to give us an answer to that. So I want him to come in our chat at some point, and I want him to educate us on how bad this is for a dog. I don't know if you guys, maybe some of you guys in the chat own dogs. They say that this dog had also heartworm disease, ticks, fleas, whipworms, which I've never even heard of whipworms, hookworms, which I've never heard of, and dermatitis, and the dog weighed less than 15 pounds. Baby girl Dustin said, my dog weighed 85 pounds. Janie said her dog weighed 20 kilos. You're going to have to adjust that for me in American pounds because I don't know kilos. I'm sorry, I don't. But clearly we have people that watch us outside of the United States, which I think is awesome. So prayer hands up. Thank you very much. Pitbull, 65 pounds to 90 pounds American. We rescued a pit bull mastiff that weighed 130 pounds. Loyal Love said a 2-month-old dog would weigh that. So, okay, somebody else said their dog weighed more than that. 50 pounds, 48 pounds. So 15 pounds is like almost on the brink of death. That's pretty bad. Now, the vet found that the other dog was also underweight and the animals have been removed from the home. So also, if you know someone who's being abused or you suspect abuse, you can contact the police department or Florida Department of Children Family Services at 800-96-ABUSE or 800-962-2873. Now, I skipped some information, so let's go back in here and let's talk about this story a little bit more. They quote this. The boy, the 13-year-old boy in this case, was chained to living room furniture for long lengths of time and was restrained in the laundry room with zip ties and tape. I'm going to say that again. He was chained physically to furniture for long lengths of time and restrained in the laundry room with zip ties and tape. What on earth would possess these two ugly women to do something like that? What could a 13-year-old, 12-year-old, 11-year-old, 10-year-old boy, whatever age he was, what could force a woman to feel like it's necessary to chain a child to furniture? What do you guys think are some good reasons for chaining children to furniture? I'm just curious. I've never even thought of anything like this. Because me personally, I'm a good parent, maybe even a great parent. I love children. I know that children sometimes can be frustrating and all of this kind of stuff. I get it. Maybe they can wear your nerves. I get it. But if women are supposed to be queens, and if women are supposed to be, in our case, in the black community, supposed to be honored and cherished and quote unquote uplifted, why would you turn around and uplift these type of people here that would think so little of a human life as to chain them to furniture and tie them down with zip ties and duct tape, meaning even if he wanted to, he couldn't go anywhere because these women are big as hell and I'm pretty sure they probably overpowered him. You guys have heard me do stories like this before. They even quote this. They said, "I wish we could say when a bad thing comes along, it's the worst thing they've ever seen. And sadly enough, too often it's not," said Dr. Randall Alexander, a child abuse pediatrician at UF Health. Alexander said the children who endure treatment similar to that of a 13-year-old often experience more than just physical pain. Okay? They kind of destroy what a person could have been, Alexander said. I'm going to read that again. They kind of destroyed what a person could have been, meaning ruining his future, meaning what is he going to turn around and be in society? He might turn around and do that type of thing to someone else, and he might turn around and maybe can never figure it out. Might have permanently ruined his life, meaning this is the type of people we put into society, which turn out to be burdens on everyone else. I talk about that all the time also. Many times we never can really bring them back. Talk about the mental state. So our goal is not to have a child our goal is not to have the child we could have had, because that may have been lost. We're really hoping we can end up with a semi-functional adult human being. That's sad. Now, a background check on Wanda Cummings shows that she was arrested in 2012 for child abuse, but she was never convicted after completing a diversion program. So we already know that Wanda Cummings, which is the one that we just see on the screen right there, that face, damn. It shows that she was arrested in 2012 for child abuse, but she was never convicted after completing a program which got it off of her record. Is Tommy in the building? Tommy liked and subscribed. You guys, if you would, Tommy Sotomayor is in the building. As you guys know, he is the star on what's her name, on Vivica Fox's new show. If you guys have not seen that on Fox, then you guys make sure and check that out, because Tommy Sotomayor did an excellent job. And I'm pretty sure that they're going to continue to air that, because it was an amazing, amazing show, and I hope that he gets more opportunities like that. Also, if you guys want to see Tommy Sotomayor in person, the very next place he's going to be is in Houston, Texas, next week, December the 15th on Saturday. Please make sure that you guys go to Tommy Sotomayor's website at TommySotomayor.com. Purchase your tickets to see Tommy live. All I'm going to be doing is just DJing and keeping people hype right before Tommy does his thing. All right, so let's keep going. Let's talk about this story a little bit more. Now, investigators believe the physical abuse started in April. However, police weren't notified until the boy showed up to the hospital in late October and needed emergency surgery. And I'm going to tell you guys this. They believe it started in April. I can almost guarantee you, depending on how long he's been in these people's custody, that he was enduring abuse way before that point, depending on how long he was in their custody, because we don't know where the mother is. And in this case, we damn sure don't know where the father is, because more times than none, the mother is being left to raise these children because she makes no effort to make sure that the father is in this kid's life, right? That's what happens in the Black community. And then on top of that, when she wants to just dump this child off on someone else, she's allowed to, because she's already reaped the benefits that she got from the state. And then she turn around and dump this kid off on the grandmother and the aunt, and they turn around and they don't give a damn about this kid. So what did they do? They turn around and abused him. Now, the report said that the boy had 55 documented injuries on his body, ranging from bruises and scars and gashes and burn marks. The doctor said that the injuries were in various stages of healing. So they don't know when he got all of these things, but it was not in a short amount of time. Now again, the only reason they found out about this was because the boy showed up to the hospital in late October because he needed emergency surgery. They abused and beat and neglected and hurt this 13-year-old boy so bad that he needed emergency surgery. Orange Park police say that they started investigating in October when the victim showed up to the hospital. Now, the hospital staff say that the boy was malnourished and he was dirty. Now, due to the child's injuries, they notified DCF, rightfully so. The Department of Children and Family Services confirmed that the boy and other children in the home were also removed. They are now in the care of other relatives. I'm going to throw this out there. If these were relatives and they were already dumped off by the mother, if you dump them off on more relatives, what makes you think that this time, the third time around, it's going to go any better? Just thought I'd throw that out there. Guys, take your pen, bookmark it in that part of the story. We'll come back to it. Court records show that the grandmother was arrested in 2012, but the charges were dropped. According to the 2012 arrest report, Wanda Cummings knocked the victim's tooth out during a beating. They're calling this a victim. This was a child because she was arrested for child abuse in 2012. She hit a child in the face so goddamn hard that she knocked the teeth out of its mouth. And she was able to get this off of her record. I want you guys to think about that. We talk about equality and how equal things are not for men and women, right? How many of you guys think that a man could have took a child, knocked the teeth out of its mouth, and got it expunged off of his record? I think none. But in this case, we've given a woman in 2012 another opportunity, another quote-unquote crack, no pun intended, at raising someone else's child, and she still turns around and abuses this one. And not only does she do that, but she does it worse. The victim told police that she and her sister get into trouble for downloading a Justin Bieber song just because it wasn't Christian music. So this is also coming from some Bible thumpers. This is why I don't mess with Bible thumpers, because they don't practice what they preach, and they usually do the most egregious stuff that you could imagine. The local news reached out to DCF to try to learn why the children were allowed back in the home with Wanda Cummings despite previous investigation. That was my point. The agency says it cannot comment due to confidentiality reasons. Just don't assume that someone else is going to contact the hotline or law enforcement, said DCF spokesperson John Harrell. There are times when the abuse may get worse. These children need our help. Both women were charged with animal abuse, according to investigators, and they left 2 pit bulls mixes tethered to a fence with a chain measuring 4 feet. I've already told you guys about that dog abuse. We're not going to go back into that. But that's what I'm talking about, man. They turn around and put these kids right back in harm's way, and that's something we cannot continue to keep doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys the only 2 news stories that were out there. The reason why I'm pointing that out is because I think that this is something that should be national news. It should definitely be something more than just shown one time. So we're going to talk about this. So let's go ahead and give the fair usage, and let's go ahead and take a look at the only 2 news stories that were done. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Police say a local teenager endured months of physical abuse at the hands of his grandmother and aunt. The pair are accused of beating the child and chaining him to furniture. Good evening. I'm Ben Becker.
I'm Tanika Hughes. According to an arrest report, the child was also locked in a room for days.
Locked in a room for days. 240 people watching. Please hit the thumbs up. We should have about 300 people here. If everybody just takes a moment and just hit the thumbs up. Share it. Let other people know that we're live, please. We don't have very many people donating. So since we don't, hit the thumbs up. That's a form of donation. Hit the thumbs up. Share it. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. What's a Bible thumper? A Bible thumper is a person that so-called says that Jesus says this and Jesus says that. And in the Bible, you know, it says Jesus says this and that and such, and honor your father and your mother so that your days may be long, and this and that and such. People that preach all of this bull crap that's going on in the church, but then they turn around and they do not exercise those same things in real life. To me, I call that a Bible thumper. Somebody that throws that stuff out there at everybody else, but don't practice what they preach. Thank you for the new subscription, Just Angel. Thank you very much.
Without food. New at 5, Action News Jack's Christy Turner is live in Orange Park where the arrests were made. And Christy, neighbors tell you they wish they had spoken up sooner.
They say there were some warning signs, but never really knew what went on behind closed doors inside this home. Police say the victim was tied to furniture, locked inside rooms without any food, and it went on for months. These two women are accused of chaining a third.
Sorry, that face is just throwing me off. Golly. Well, it looked like somebody just went to the bathroom, squatted on the toilet, and produced her face.
Food, and it went on for months. These two women are accused of chaining a 13-year-old boy to furniture and severely beating him since April inside this purple home in Orange Park. The victim's grandmother, 62-year-old Wanda Cummings, and aunt, 34-year-old Juanicia Cummings, are charged with child abuse and neglect.
A couple of them said they can't believe we all lived this close and didn't realize it was going on to that effect.
This neighbor says he saw one of the women grab the boy by the neck.
She had him by the throat, and when she turned and saw me, she let go and went in the house.
The investigation.
And guys, I'm going to do some more stories like that. I want you to hear what this man said he saw. And I'm curious if he actually called authorities on this woman. He probably didn't, because he was probably scared of them. But I want you guys to think about this. How many times have you seen mothers grab their kids forcefully, jerk their kids by the arm, grab them by the neck, grab them by the shirt? I'm telling you guys, all of that stuff is abusive. If you see a woman doing that, don't think that she's just being a tough mother. She's being an ass that needs to be arrested. If you're going to discipline your children, you don't physically punish them. I'll say that again. I don't believe in spanking. I don't believe in grabbing. I don't believe in kicking. I don't believe in pushing. I don't believe in choke slamming. I don't believe in WWF rawing your children or anything like that. If you feel the need to discipline your children like that, then you should not be a parent. Find someone and drop them off at a safe place. You are not a safe person to be in possession of human lives, children.
With child abuse and neglect.
A couple of them said they can't believe we all lived this close and didn't realize it was going on to that effect.
He said he didn't realize it was going on to that effect, but listen at him. Listen at him describe how he saw this woman treat this child in real life. Listen to this.
This neighbor says he saw one of the women grab the boy by the neck.
She had him by the throat, and when she turned and saw me, she let go and went in the house.
You hear that? Listen to this guy again. What he actually saw and didn't do shit. He sucks as a neighbor. Listen to this again.
Neck.
She had him by the throat, and when she turned and saw me, she let go by the throat.
What kind of so-called discipline is that? How do you discipline a child by restricting their breathing so that they almost die? Like, how is that considered to be a form of parenting that I'm going to kill you? So you have failed so much as a parent that you need to threaten death on a child just to get them to do what you say that you want them to do or get them to fall in line? Well, I'm going to tell you guys something. Not only am I a father to one, not only am I a father to two, but I have been a father to countless boys and girls over my lifetime, either by way of my dating habits or either by way of the jobs that I've had, because I used to be a youth counselor in Missouri of many children over many different years. And I'm going to tell you guys something. We got those children, in some cases that were at-risk children that people consider to be badass kids, and we got them to have the time of their life within a 9-day span. These children don't need much. They need love and they need respect. I'll say that again. These children need love and they need respect. If you're the type of person that says, well, screw these children need respect, they need to respect me, and then maybe I'll think about respecting them, then that's probably part of the problem. So for the people that don't believe that children need to respect, anytime that I go to introduce myself to a child, I give them the utmost respect first, and usually it's reciprocated. We can all learn. We can all learn. Let's keep going.
By the throat, and when she turned and saw me, she let go and went in the house.
The investigation with police and DCF began in October when police say the victim showed up to the hospital and needed emergency surgery. Doctors say the boy had 55 documented injuries on his body, including
50. Damn. Think about that. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, not 10 times that you abused the kid. Not 11, not 12, not 13, not 14, not 15, not 16, not 17, not 18, not 19, not 20 times you abused the kid. Not 21, not 22, not 23, not 24, not 25, not 26, not 27, not 28, not 29, not 30 times that you abused this kid. Not 40, not 41, not 42, not 43, not 44, not 45, not 46, not 47, not 48, not 49, not 50 times you abused this kid. Not 51, not 52, not 53, not 54, 55 goddamn times. Come on, man. That's ridiculous. Somebody knew what was going on. The state clearly in 2012 knew what was going on, and they didn't do shit. They just said, we'll just complete this program, and maybe we'll just hope that you don't abuse another kid. No, apparently she didn't. She got worse and worse and worse, to the point to where people saw her out in public. This white man in this story saw it happen, and he didn't do shit. He didn't say shit. He didn't turn around and report it to anybody. Which means that they might have been alerted that something was wrong, coming and do an investigation and find out that all of this stuff was going wrong much earlier. The only difference between this story and other stories that we have done, the only difference is that this child actually lived. How many stories have I done just in the past 2 weeks where the children died?
Believe we all lived this close and didn't realize it was going on to that effect.
This neighbor says he saw one of the women grab the boy by the neck.
She had him by the throat, and when she turned and saw me, she let go and went in the house.
The investigation with police and DCF began in October when police say the victim showed up to the hospital and needed emergency surgery. Doctors say the boy had 55 documented injuries on his body, including bruises, scars, gashes, and burn marks. The victim told police the suspects kept him in.
Oh my God, did y'all see those curtains? Jesus Christ. This is something that I hear Tommy talk about all the time. Look at this.
The victim told.
Look at those curtains. I'm sorry, but I think that the condition of your home and how you care for your home definitely should dictate how you're treating the children. We should be making this correlation. If your yard looks like crap, if you got trash thrown everywhere, if your blinds, your window blinds are falling the freak apart, then I think that speaks volumes about how you might be caring for yourself and might be caring for others. I thought I'd throw that out there.
Police, the suspects kept him inside a small box for extended periods of time where he was forced to urinate on himself.
And that boy did deserve it.
Both women were also charged with animal cruelty after they found 2 dogs on the property that were malnourished and infested with ticks, fleas, and worms. DCF says the teenager and another child inside this home were removed and are now in the care of a relative. Now, I found this is not the first time DCF has been called to investigate. I'll have more on that part of the story for you coming up all new at 6.
We've already told you guys about that. She was arrested in 2012 for knocking a child's teeth out of its mouth, and she got off of that case scot-free. Just fucking ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. If you guys like what we do here, man, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up. I see a lot of new names in the chat, and I know other people are just watching, so please hit the thumbs up. It'll share the show and let other people know that we're live. If you guys feel like our advocacy for children actually is making a difference, please share the story. Don't be hesitant to donate. We got multiple ways to be able to donate. Links are in the description box at the bottom of the video. But if nothing else, just hit the thumbs up. That helps out a lot more than you guys think. Please hit that thumbs up. Yes, this was in Florida. And I'll say this again. Chronicles of Eve made me think about this point again. So I'll say this before we wrap up because we're almost done, okay? But they're saying, let me see, where's that comment at? I hate state services. They don't give a crap about the kids. I feel you. They could definitely do better. I know a lot of them do, but too many of them end up failing the children. But I'll tell you guys this. The people that are not supposed to fail the children are supposed to be the DNA mother and the DNA father. The people that slept together in private, that created the child in private, should be the ones taking care of this child in private. I'll say that again. If you create children in private, then you should take care of those children in private. It should not be the state's responsibility. It shouldn't be the neighbor's responsibility. Shouldn't be the boyfriend's responsibility. It should not be any other entity's responsibility for us to take care of these children except for the people that created those children, okay? It's a sad thing, man. Like I said, guys. And one thing I wanted to point out here real quick before we wrap up is that thing that just crossed across my screen. The show is now over, but I want to show you guys this. Hashtag where's the father and hashtag where's the mother in this case, because we have not heard from a mother in this case. I hate scrolling across her face. Good Lord. Let me try to get her face off the screen real quick. This right here. 80% of children that die from abuse are under the age of 4. And I want you guys to think about the fact that the majority of children in the Black community are being raised under a single person household, knowing that they're going to be under a lot of stress, knowing that they're going to be under a lot of different things, a lot of different factors that could potentially be putting these children at risk. As you guys know, we talked about the postpartum depression last night. And in my opinion, if a woman who is the only person, men aren't given this postpartum excuse. So if women are given the excuse that they might be having some mental and emotional instabilities that could cause damage to these children, then in my opinion, I believe that the fathers should be given way more ability to be able to take the children out of these women's hands. If nothing else, at least create something to where if we're going to continue to keep going down this route, make it to where the fathers can get custody of these children a hell of a lot easier until these women can get themselves together mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, whatever it takes. But I think that's very telling. The most vulnerable people in our United States of America are our babies. They are also our most valuable resource. And think about this. The ones who definitely cannot defend themselves are usually at these small children's ages. They can't speak. They can't, a lot of them, are just learning to walk and get around and to be able to, use the bathroom, learning just the basic things about life. 80% of children that die from abuse are under the age of 4. I think that's very telling. That's something that's got to change. And I think that we'll make the change once we start changing our mentality. If you feel the need to physically punish a child, then you probably should not have that child in your custody. We'll talk more about that at another time, okay? This is your boy DJ Just Jay signing out.